beautiful day to each and everyone. My study is about students' level of procedural fluency and difficulties in college algebra, a flexible learning setup. From Cotabato State University, Cotabato City, I'm Joel Cipatino Jr. Various changes and advances have taken place in the ways of teaching and learning. Flexible learning has been practiced, particularly in state universities and colleges. As indicated from CHED Memorandum Order Number 4 Series of 2020, flexible learning as a mode of delivery shall be adopted beginning academic year 2020 and 2021. As the new mode of learning has been implemented, learning something new becomes harder. According to the research study of Lin et al. 2016, students face problems that are difficult to solve in a face-to-face teaching framework for the beginners, particularly in mathematics-related subjects. Mathematics is undeniably one of the most challenging subjects in the new normal setting. That is why this study was conducted in order to have a strong baseline of the difficulties, including the coping strategies or interventions applied by the students in the new normal mathematics learning, particularly in their problem solving. Let's have the research objectives, starting with the quantitative, to find out the student's level of procedural fluency in the levels of understanding the problem, devising a plan, carrying out the plan, and checking the answer. Another is to determine the student's level of procedural fluency in college algebra in relation to the mathematical problem topics. We also have qualitative, to explore the students' learning difficulties and interventions applied in college algebra under the new normal, and to design an intervention program that will help students improve their problem-solving skills in college algebra. We have our methodology. Our research design is mixed methods, particularly explanatory sequential design, that is following two phases, starting from the quantitative phase to be followed by qualitative phase. The participants in the study are the selected 30 first-year mathematics major students of College of Teacher Education, of course from Cotabato State University, and this is equivalent to one section. For the research instruments, the study used two questionnaires, the test questionnaire and interview questionnaire. So these questionnaires were validated by experts, and the test was conducted first and was followed by the interview. For the data analysis, we have the quantitative data where descriptive statistics, particularly weighted mean, was used, and for the qualitative, thematic analysis was utilized, particularly themes and thematic statements. We also have the results, and we have 5 highlights. The first one is the level of procedural fluency of students in college algebra in relation to the 4 problem-solving principles. It was revealed that majority of the respondents were emerging on the levels of understanding the problem, devising a plan, and carrying out the plan, while most of them were inept on the level of reflecting on the problem. Overall, the respondents, or most of them, have low level of procedural fluency in college algebra, particularly in the 4 principles of problem solving. The second highlight is the level of procedural fluency of students in college algebra in relation to the mathematical problem topics. It was revealed that majority of the respondents were emerging in the mathematical problems concerning the factoring methods, rational exponents, rationalization of radicals, special products, rational expressions, and word problems involving simple equations, while most of them were inept in solving mathematical problems concerning real and imaginary numbers, equations and inequalities, and word problems involving fractions. Still, majority of them have low level of procedural fluency in college algebra, particularly in solving the identified mathematical problem topics. Our third highlight is the learning difficulties of students in college algebra under the new normal. So, one theme is difficulty in solving word problems, especially involving fractions. The theme reveals from the perspective of the students that dealing expressions, equations, and inequalities that involve fractions is truly challenging. And solving that includes rational numbers turns out to be difficult from their point of view, and because of this, the concept becomes part of their weaknesses in dealing with mathematics. Another theme is the difficulty in problem solving due to undeveloped prerequisite skills. This theme points out the importance of background in problem solving. Concepts like the use of formulas and skills in comprehensions, such as translating the verbal phrase into the mathematical phrase or vice versa, are prerequisite skills in solving mathematical problems. The third theme is the difficulty in learning because of unstable internet connection. This theme highlights internet connectivity as a factor that affects students' learning of college algebra. Understanding of the lesson is harder if the connection is unstable. Another highlight is the interventions applied by the students in the encountered learning difficulties. So, first theme is facing the problem and practice repeatedly. So, the theme points out one intervention applied by the respondents in their encountered learning difficulties, that is, facing the problem that enables them to find immediate ways to cope up with their problems and eventually resolve them with the help of internal and external support. Practicing solved problems repeatedly and being patient help them address their learning gaps. Another intervention is watching YouTube step-by-step tutorial in mathematics is of great help. The team emphasizes the use of YouTube as a learning resource or instrument in understanding the concepts in college algebra. Watching YouTube becomes an alternative way of students in mathematics learning and coping in the new normal. For the intervention program, we have the action plan where the objective is to make video tutorials in college algebra, particularly applying the Polya's principles, so that the expected output in here is the improved level of procedural fluency in college algebra. Let's have the conclusion now. So these are the key points. College algebra, so they have low level of procedural fluency. So for the problem solving, considering the Polya's principles, most of them are not that good in those levels. Procedural fluency, okay, as I mentioned, it's low. Learning difficulties, these are poor knowledge on the prerequisite skills and unstable internet connection. Applied interventions, facing the problems, practicing repeatedly, and watching online mathematics tutorials. And for the action plan, making of videos following the Polya's principles. Learning in the flexible mode of delivery is really challenging, but with right interventions, the learning gaps can be addressed. For the recommendations, we have 3. So the first, the conduct of student and faculty development. In order for the results to be shared, of course, making of video tutorials in order for the students' level of procedural fluency to be improved, and integration of Polya's principles in algebra-related courses in order to really assure mastery and higher level of procedural fluency in college algebra, particularly in problem solving. And that's it! These were the references used. Thank you very much. Again, I'm Joel Sapatinho Jr. from Cotabato State University, Cotabato City, Philippines. Keep safe and God bless always.